On September 10, 2025, a tragic event shook not only the conservative movement, but the entire nation. Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot while speaking at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. His death has raised urgent questions about political violence, security, and the deep divisions in America. Today we focus on the solemn steps that followed, how his body was transported home to Arizona, and the unexpected role played by Vice President Vp Vance in honoring his friend. This is the story of the final journey. To understand the gravity of what came next, here's what we know. Kirk was speaking outdoors, addressing a crowd, when he was shot. The news of his death spread quickly. Authorities launched an investigation, and the country reacted with shock, grief, and political debate. Kirk, age 31, had built Turning Point USA into a major voice in conservative youth outreach, political activism, and media. He had become intensely involved in the MAGA movement, not just as a speaker, but as someone whose organizing efforts helped shape aspects of staffing and strategy. Soon after his death, plans were made to bring Charlie Kirk's body back to his home state of Arizona. The person who stepped in to escort the remains was Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance, who had a friendship with Kirk, departed scheduled memorial commitments in order to accompany the casket. Also accompanying were Kirk's wife, Erica, family members, and close friends. Vance's wife, Vp Vance, was also present with them. The decision came amid deep mourning and heavy symbolism, a political figure in Vance providing personal support and helping guarantee that Kirk's final flight would be treated with respect and solemnity. The body was moved from Salt Lake City, Utah, very close to where Kirk was killed in Orem, onto Air Force Two, the vice president's plane. At the tarmac, Vice President Vance joined uniformed service members to carry the casket and load it onto the aircraft. It was a profound visual, a senior elected official stepping into a role more often reserved for funeral directors and military pallbearing teams. His wife, Usha, along with Kirk's widow Erica, were seen leaving the plane in Phoenix, Arizona, in black attire. Erica wore sunglasses. Vp Vance held or accompanied her during the deplaning, a gesture of solidarity. After landing at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, the casket was transferred to a hearse, to be taken to a memorial chapel or location for funeral arrangements in Phoenix, where Kirk lived and where Turning Point USA is based. Vance's role was more than logistical. Publicly, he expressed personal grief and respect. On social media, he described the relationship. It had begun years earlier after Kirk appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, when Kirk reached out to compliment Vance, and they built a friendship from there. Vance praised Kirk's organizing ability, saying that so much of the success we've had in this administration traces directly to Charlie's ability to organize and convene. He noted that Kirk didn't just help win the 2024 election, but also helped staff parts of government. By taking part in carrying the casket and his physical presence in the transport, Vance sent a message: this is about more than politics. It's about human loss, respect, and ritual. Many are interpreting the gesture as bridging the personal and political, especially in a time when societal divisions are sharp. The transport has stirred a range of reactions. Supporters of Kirk and Vance see it as a dignified tribute. Critics are using it to argue about political symbolism, the responsibility of public figures for the rhetoric that precedes incidents of political violence. The media has focused on a few things. Kirk's death has triggered conversations about the rise in political violence and the safety of speakers and public figures. Vance's public role in transporting the casket is likely to influence how his political image is perceived, as someone who doesn't just speak from afar but who steps into personal moments of grief. There is also the procedural side. Investigations into the suspect, which included surveillance footage, public tips, and a reward offer, continue. The transport doesn't end that search, it grounds the conversation in the real human cost. As of now, the public waits for funeral details, and for how this moment will shape conversations about dialogue, security, and memorializing divisive figures. The final journey of Charlie Kirk from Utah to Arizona carried with it heavy symbolism, mourning, and questions. Vice President Vance stepped beyond politics, embracing a role rooted in friendship and respect. Thank you for joining us today as we recounted these events. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Our thoughts are with all impacted by this tragedy. Until next time, stay informed.